Chapter 1. Diarmuid. Hands of the Kings, Edict 1. The Hand of Kings is not a political movement, rebellion, or cult. It is a natural order of life. Just as the moon and sun command the heavens, the kings command the earth. There is always a sense of peace in chaos. Quiet chaos. That's what I walk into in the grand ballroom of the top floor of the mansion. A part of me wished this could be done in my home, but that would be unheard of. The showing of the brides was always at the Hand of the King's mansion. The long red velvet curtains have been drawn. The gold weights that keep the curtains in place, still shifting along the oak flooring inside their lining, tell me they have only recently been pulled to plunge the room into a romantic darkness. Nonsense, really. The candles along the walls have been lit, hundreds of them. More nonsense. But this is what the arriving brides are accustomed to, or so I've heard. A room shimmering in romance, but their shaking figures scream anything but that. That is their way, their duty. I run my thumb along my lip as I think about our traditions. Every king is given 3 candidates who must show obedience at all times. How many kings are there? That I'm not sure of. But right now, my 3 brides are obedient. All their gazes are downcast, which is what is expected. They will only look at me when I request it. I take my time glancing at the portraits of all the past leaders that hang along the walls. Their eyes follow my every move. They don't intimidate me. They are the past, and I am the future. The final 3 pictures, however, do give me pause. The first is Andrew O'Sullivan, who was the head of the family until his recent disappearance. A twinge of a smile dances along my lips, but I suppress it as I stop in front of the final 2 paintings. One is of Richard O'Sullivan, my father, whom everyone assumed would one day take over. I chuckle. You know what they say about assuming things. Beside him is my mother, Elise O'Sullivan. I stare at her face, the steel-grey eyes that I inherited from her. All else I received from her was hate. Hate for how she allowed men to take me, shape me, and damage me. She never protected me. No one did. But I would have expected some form of protection from her as my mother. I place my hands behind my back and walk past the row of servants, 7 to be exact. Once I reach the final one, the first turns and the rest fall into line, leaving the room, leaving me alone with my prizes. They are not just servants. Each is chosen carefully and skilled in a variety of ways to take a life. Working in the mansion of the Hands of the Kings requires knowledge of how to kill. Wolves in sheep's clothing. I continue my walk to the waiting brides. One of them I will have to marry, but until that moment, I get to play. And like my brothers would admit, I don't play nicely. I keep walking the distance until I'm in front of the 3 naked ladies. The one in the center has her hands folded across her private area, like she has any right to shield herself from me. These women have been bred for this, so she should know better. Place your hands at your sides. Her response is instant, and her dusky Mediterranean skin follows along her graceful arms that hang loosely, fingertips grazing her thighs. It's not a good sign when you have to be corrected already. I let out a bored sigh and she flicks a glance up at me before focusing on the floor at her bare feet. She may be the troublesome one, the troublemaker. I hide a grin. Troublemaker, what is your name? She glances up. Celine. Her voice is soft. Her eyes aren't the only part of her that is hostile. The shape of her shoulders and how they slouch forward like she can shield herself from my gaze isn't lost on me. I think I prefer troublemaker, I say. She holds my gaze for a beat more before diverting her attention to her toes. I follow her line of vision, and her toes tense along the hard oak flooring. This room is accustomed to polished shoes and dancing heels, not bare feet. She shivers, and I wonder if it is the cold or fear. Long, dark brown hair is neatly arranged on top of her head, pinned back almost severely. Nothing can shield her face from me. Fires have been lit in the room. All three send out a soft wave of heat. One reaches the side of my face, and I almost want to bat it away. I prefer no fires in my own private rooms, but this isn't my home, so I don't have a say. I move on to the next girl. She reminds me of a statue with how she holds herself so still. Her fingers seem to move involuntarily along her side. Her nerves are getting the best of her. I pass her and stop at the final bride. She looks at me directly. "What is your full name?" I ask. "Amira Reardon." She has soft brown eyes and an oval, innocent-looking face. She won't be very innocent when I'm finished with her. Her complexion is pale, yet under the glow of the light it appears slightly tanned. When she says her name, she averts her gaze, but not before I catch something dark and intelligent hiding behind her eyes. My darkness recognizes something inside her. Damage. I go back 2 steps and stand in front of the woman who is first. She hasn't moved a muscle. She reminds me of a beautiful statue, all angles and posture. She has an athletic structure. Her long blonde hair hangs loosely around her shoulders. "Look at me," I say. She keeps her gaze downcast, but she squeezes her thighs together. I reach in and touch her chin, tilting her face toward me until I'm looking into brown eyes. "You must be Nia Connolly. Miss Connolly, my name is Diarmuid O'Sullivan, and it would be wise to listen to me when I give you a command." I release her chin and walk in front of the 3 of them, taking in their beautiful bodies and faces. These are the brides chosen for me by Victor Madigan and Wolf O'Sullivan. I will get to know all of them, and in the end I will only choose one. They were selected very carefully. I don't particularly like the idea of Victor or Wolf selecting anything for me. I can't stand either of them. But it's our hierarchy, and Victor is the head of the Hand of Kings, so he isn't someone I can ever question, even if I was dissatisfied with his choice. I'm not. All 3 are stunning. Perfect. Hopefully they are obedient too. I return to the troublemaker, Celine. "Look at me," I command. She does, but there is no longer a fire in her gaze. She has took that away. She learns quickly. Now she wears a blank look on her face like she is facing her execution. I take in her beauty, allowing myself as much time as I wish to study her body before bringing my attention back to her hair. "Let your hair down." There is a flash of fear, but Celine raises her hands and removes each pin. One pings along the oak flooring. The noise has Amira glancing in our direction. When I catch her eye, she quickly looks away. Celine holds all the pins in her hands, and I watch her beauty transform and grow as silky, wavy brown hair cascades down her back. "I bet that feels better," I ask. She gives a quick nod of her head, but her pulse flickers wildly along her neck. I'm ready to move on, but the fire in her gaze grows again. I don't like fire. I want to extinguish it. Fire is uncontrollable, and to survive in our world, you need control. My bride will need control. This lesson will anger Celine, I'm sure, but in time, we'll teach her a lesson. "Touch yourself," I command. She uses the hand that is fisted with pins and slides her knuckles along her private area. "Use your other hand," I order. She swallows and closes her eyes. "Keep looking at me while you touch yourself, Celine." Her eyelids flutter open, and her free hand runs along her mound. My cock grows instantly. I close the distance between us and grip her hand. With my other one, I grab her thigh, and she spreads her legs, giving both our hands access. I hold only one of her fingers and push it inside her opening. She inhales sharply. I let the tip of my finger follow hers, and the moisture that greets me makes me want to take more, to explore the warmth that tightens around my finger. I pull out and sink back in while looking into her eyes. Her cheeks are tinged with pink, but her gaze is steady. Control. That's exactly what I want to see. I withdraw. She doesn't. She's smart. Keep going, Celine, I order, and she takes her finger out before pushing it back in. Amira, I say. Her childlike features remind me of a porcelain doll. She doesn't belong here, maybe on a shelf in a child's room. A part of me can't wait to corrupt her, yet that darkness that I saw earlier is there and makes me curious about her. Watch, Celine. Amira does, and I stop in front of Niev. Do you want to join, Celine? I ask. I like watching her brown eyes swirl with fear. Do I have to? She has a stammer. It's a flaw, but I like flaws. I run my thumb along my lip. You answered a question with a question, I bite back. She moves instantly, and I take in her toned oval ass. She must be athletic. I wonder what sport she favors. She moves quickly to Celine, but pauses in front of her. Celine is making great work of stimulating herself. If I were to guess, I'd say she was enjoying it. Niev peeks at me before she reaches out with a shaky hand and touches Celine's breast. She squeezes it, showing she has never touched a breast before. I walk back to them and they both pause. My gaze darkens and they continue the show for me. I grip Celine's free breast at the base and drag my hand upwards, tightening until I reach the nipple and squeeze. Celine hisses with pleasure. Just like that, Niev. Niev copies me, and I can already tell she's going to be a very good student. I reach down and cover Celine's hand, pulling her finger out of her opening. They are soaking, and I push her wet finger against her swollen bud. I keep my hand over hers as I circle her sensitive area while Niev repeats the action on Celine's breasts. I look at Amira, who's watching. Her mouth forms a small O. She catches me looking at her, and it's clear in her gaze that she wants to be part of this. But for that reason, I don't invite her. I don't stop until Celine shudders on her hand and her orgasm ceases. I step back and give a short clap. Very well done, Celine. Maybe you aren't a troublemaker after all. My cock bulges against my trousers. Maybe Amira could have her first lesson in pleasing me. As I take a step toward her, my phone rings. I scoop it out of my pocket and turn my back on my three brides. It's Wolf. I assume he's ringing to see what I think of his selection. I can't fucking believe it. That's Wolf's opening line. I step toward the red velvet curtains. I don't know who would do this. He sounds upset, almost distraught. I don't care. I like hearing him this distraught. They found my father, Dearmwood. He's dead. I knew this moment would arrive. Are you sure? I ask. What? Are you sure he's dead? Did you see his body? I ask. Yes. He was pulled out of a shallow grave. Yes, he's very fucking dead, Wolf snaps. I turn to my three brides who are back in formation. Celine looks flushed, perfect in the light. I hadn't time to dig any deeper, but a shallow grave is all that Andrew O'Sullivan deserved.
You can listen to the rest of the book in the Tempt Romance audiobooks app, available on the App Store and Google Play. The link to the book is in the description. Discover even more bestsellers and exclusive stories updated weekly, only in Tempt Romance audiobooks.